Hey YouTube, 360 King here. Now I'm going to show you how to take a very old PC that probably nobody would use anymore and make it into a regular, average, good PC that you can use every day, and it comes to a very, very cheap price. This is a Windows 10 PC. It's an Optiplex GX620, and you see how fast it booted up, and there's really not much in there that makes it expensive. It's I got a this is running Windows 10 64. As you'll see now, I'm going into Cupid. I didn't buy this PC, it was in the garbage. You can get those PCs, at some used parts stores for almost free. People try to go back and recycle them. Look online. There's always places where you can get old PC parts. And this is running Windows 10 right now, but it's not important. You don't have to, if you say, okay, well, how am I going to get through this? You get an old PC, you go on eBay, you get some RAM, and make sure that you have low voltage RAM if it's a Pentium based PC, and it doesn't matter if it's higher or low if you have AMD motherboard and CPU. But you need a low voltage for RAM for a Intel Pentium motherboard CPU combo there, because it's not going to work. Anyway, you know how 32-bit, you can't use more than 4 gigs of RAM, 375 mostly, but now all the systems are in 64-bit, so the processors, they can generate file size at the same time as fast as the 32, but bigger, so, and now even faster, right? So the files are bigger, so it's more efficient. And but if you get an SSD drive on your old PC like this Optiplex GX620, by the way, these PCs had a problem. There were rentals from companies, and eventually the rents were gone and were finished, and they were brought back into circulation for selling used PCs. But when you want to stay away from the Optiplex GX620, that's just an example. There's PCs out there, because this one has capacitors that leak, so I had to change them. I had to change 5 on the motherboard, and that's not a big job, but still it's a job where you need to know how to solder some capacitors on the motherboard and desolder with desolder wig, and then you put it back together, put the motherboard. But this video is not about soldering capacitors on the motherboard. It's just about taking an old PC and giving it some life. So you'll see here that the Intel Pentium D945 on a motherboard like that that's a dual core CPU, and it originally came with, I think, a set of 1.6 or something, single core 1.4 if it was awfully slow. But you can update the firmware on the motherboard. It's called flashing the BIOS, but it's a big term for nothing. It's like anything. It's an update of driver or software on the motherboard. If you go on the manufacturer's website, it's all there. It's even linked to a little program you need to do that. So now the motherboard accepts dual core. This one in particular, and many others, will accept dual core in their sockets, right? So this is socket 775LGA, and now I put in there, and I didn't even change the blower on it, the air sink, the heat sink. It's the same one. You see, there's an Intel Pentium D CPU at 3.4 gigs. So it's a lot faster than it was before. See, Core 2, Threads 2. And you know, right now I got 4 sticks of 1 GB RAM on eBay. For the 4 sticks were, I think I got them for $18 or $19, free shipping from China. It takes about 3 weeks. And yeah, and anyway, you put that all together after updating the motherboard, and you'll see here, main board. You see, this is the type of mainboard. It's an Intel. That's the model number. If you look at it, see, that's the original version of the BIOS was 1110 or 9, and then I updated it to A11, and now it takes dual core processors. It's for PC people. This is child's play. I get that, but that's not the point. Like, there's a lot of PCs out there. You know, there's even little companies that start around that, like getting old PC parts and just putting them together so the PC will be like 50% more powerful than when it was. You know, I get that 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they used to sell PC with 256 megabyte of RAM, you know, and then today, if you have an OS that demands more, well, you're screwed, because it's going to be so slow, and then it's full of spam, and you know, it's not full of programs, third-party programs. It's all running in the background, and people don't understand how it works. So, really, you should always put a guest account on people that, you know, if you go and fix their PC and then they only want to do internet, you put them on a guest account, so they can't do anything but surf the web and stay clean. They can't download any malware or anything like that. So anyway, so you want to do that. So the steps are, take your motherboard, if it's single core, because this is mostly what you get in the garbage, single core, capable motherboards, and then you go online, you go on, this is Cupid, CPUs that'll give you information on the main information, the core information of your system. So you do that, and then you look to see if you can upgrade and if your motherboard will accept dual core. And then you take the biggest dual core that it's going to accept. It's not easy to find, because, you know, there's forums out there. People think they can. People know they know. Well, I've tried it, and this is a 650 with dual core 3.4. That's the biggest you could get on there. Okay, there's the 3.4 Pentium, the D3.4 EE Extreme Edition. But it was like $4 more for no reason. You know, we're not even there yet. It's not for gaming. It games great, all these games. Anything like 206 and under, I mean, you can game max out. Like, you know, it's no problem. But Team Fortress 2, it does bottleneck. The CPU does bottleneck, because it's not the graphic card that bottlenecks. Right now, I'm doing it with another PC right now. It's 7 something. It's a cheap PC, but I'm doing it. So I took 2 sticks of RAM and I replaced it. You see, right now I only have 2 gigs on here, which is plenty, because I have an SSD drive. So there's no delay. It's very fast for multimedia, you know, web surfing and all that. It's a non-issue. So you see that right now I just replaced there's 4 sticks of 512 on there, right? Which they're giving them away in China. You know, you can buy them on eBay. It's nothing. So you put those on. So you have, now that you updated your software on your motherboard, you've added RAM. Okay, you max out the RAM. It's probably 4 gigs anyway, so you know, might as well max it out. It works fine at 2 gigs if you have an SSD. You're not going to be doing anything amazing with this PC anyway. It's just a great house PC, does everything fine. And you want to get a graphics card, you know, and I'm not talking about a 1080 or something like that. What's on here, you know? What a Radeon, AMD Radeon 7000 series, you know, that's good enough. It has 1 gig of memory. It's better than what's on board, and I paid on eBay $25. It was from the US, so I had to pay like $10 shipping. So if I had $35 for the card, a decent graphic card, graphics card, and 4 sticks of 1 gig of RAM for $20. So I'm at 55. The CPU I paid 10, free shipping, that dual core. And the SSD drive, I've changed the SSD drive. It was old, you know, the other one was struggling. You can hear sometimes it didn't boot properly. The SSD I got it at Best Buy for $60. So, you know, for around $100, you have a very capable system, and you took stuff out of the landfills, and, you know, and of course they're trying to recycle all those parts, but many don't make it very far. And, you know, you have a very capable house PC. Now, there's a thing that people are not sure about, you know, well, why do I get Windows? How come I don't get Windows? You know, Windows is not everything, you know, it's okay, it works, but personally I only have like 3 PCs in my house that they're running Windows 10. The other, I've tried them all, like Ubuntu. If you have a slow PC, and you know, mostly when you get on a PC, often you'll just double click on Google Chrome and go from there. That's mostly what you do. It's your access, your gateway into the internet. So Puppy Linux and Linux Mint. I'm running Rosa Cinnamon 17.3 right now. I've tried 18, but it's not. This is open source. I mean, people can program for it. But if you take one that's a little bit later, a little bit, you know, older, like just the edition right before the latest one, well, it's stable. There's no problems anyway. You're going in Google Chrome every time you're going on your computer. So Google Chrome works. It's the same program you download for it, and it works beautifully, perfectly. And these programs are free. And they're downloadable from the internet. You have to download Rufus on a key, and then, you know, off your Windows PC, and then you put a USB key in, and you follow the steps. It's very simple. And then you boot either your old laptop or your PC with your key, and then you can just go from there. And then there's options in there that you can just install the Linux Mint or Puppy Linux or Ubuntu, but Ubuntu is a full program. It's a heavy program. Even Cinnamon Rosa 17.3 is a full program. So it's not faster than Windows 10 at all. So, but it requires about 2 gigs of RAM and all that. So if you can manage that, well, you can have a great PC for for $100, and that's great. It helps out a lot. We're gonna skip to the next video, which is in this part, and we're gonna go in the PC itself. I'm gonna show you the insides and how well it just works, and it's put together very easily, and it's awesome. It's super fast. It's a non-issue in everything you do. You click on Edge. Boom, you're in. You know, so, alright, let's go in and see what it looks like inside.